hip-hop history on my show. And I want to talk about the year 1972. And the importance of it to hip-hop, okay? Now, a lot of people throw around the word old school. You know, like if you ask a 20-year-old what old school means, they might, you know, to everyone it's different. So for a person who's 20 right now, old school might mean 2014. For me, I get called old school a lot. I don't consider myself, I am not really technically from the old school. I was born during the old school, but I actually lived in the my golden years were to me, the golden age of rap. But maybe that's just me. But a lot of other people be calling what I call the golden age of rap out there. Also, other people have called it the golden age of rap. I really do think where I came from was the golden age. But you can call me old school all you like. I don't really mind. Wait, hold up. I gotta tie my shoe. But yeah. But all right. So hip hop has three. I mean, there's a couple different stages, and I'm gonna break them all down. Okay. All right. We'll put it like this. Okay. One day in the spring of 1972, a well-known DJ from the Bronx named DJ Kool Herc, he had like some pimped out like ride that was you could put the top down, convertible, and he got these brand new set of speakers, big ass speakers, and they took up his whole back seat, and he would just drive around town with those, like he would never take those speakers out of his car unless he had a show. Kind of like your boy. When I have a car, my speakers will always be in my back seat. Okay? Unless I'm doing a show, then they're out of my car. But he drove around town with his speakers bumping all the time. And what he started doing, he realized was that he wanted to have a party and he was gonna do it out in the park. You know what I mean? Like he played hip hop. He played this new thing where he plays a beat. He'll take a James Brown beat, and he has two tables. And what he does is he'll find every song has what's called a break. Okay, there's a chorus, a verse, a chorus, verse, a chorus, a verse, a chorus, a break, a verse, a chorus. That's how a song is built. It's the break that in most like fat ass like songs was the hottest part. So what Kool Herc would do was he would play that break once on one record, and then he'd cue it up on the other record and get it ready so he could continue like that. And then when the break would end on one record, it would start on the other. Okay, and then back and forth, keep doing it. You could do it forever. You can make an instrumental out of the break if you just keep playing it on two turntables. Okay, and eventually people liked that shit, and he would say stuff over it. He would basically talk to the audience, and he called that rapping. Like, hey everybody, how y'all doing out there? Put your hands in the air like you just don't care. Say yeah. Okay, he'd say stupid shit like that. And other dudes would start doing that too. That could rap, that could talk to the crowd, get them involved. But they really weren't the featured artists. The feature was the DJ, and then there were guys who were really good dancers, and they loved these break sounds, the funk, that isolated, just staccato acapella of what a break is. They loved it, and they would start doing moves to it, and they became known as break dancers. Okay, this all happened in the early 70s. I'm not joking you. Listen to KRS-One's lyrics in most of his songs about the old school, like South Bronx and shit like that. He says it right there. Listen to Just Ice, The Bridge is Over. They talk about all this shit in all these songs. All right, so Kool Herc was the first, but then he had other guys like Busy B in his group. Grandmaster Caz is one of the names from the old school. I don't know all of the old school names because they was just strictly, the true old definition of old school is when they were doing it in parks. All right, what they did, what Kool Herc figured out was like, street lights, I'm gonna try to find one around here. Like there's like little outlets everywhere along the street. And you can find one at the park, so if you just plug it in, you can just plug your speakers in, you have power. So they would take the power from the street lights, but it would suck all the power out of the street lights and it would make the place dark. You know, it'd be pitch black, but everyone's like rocking and listening to music in the South Bronx. And eventually, what started in the South Bronx quickly spread across Queens Bridge, over to Queens, quickly spread to Harlem, Manhattan, Brooklyn, and eventually Staten Island. And it took over all New York. Then it hit Jersey, Connecticut, upstate New York. You know, it spread like a virus eventually, but I'm getting ahead of myself. This is still a block party thing in the 70s. But it starts growing and people start getting into it. So by the late 70s, by like 77, 78, you start hearing, it starts getting put on wax. Okay, you start hearing shit like Blondie's Rapture. You start hearing shit like Grandmaster Flash coming around. You start hearing the very first inklings of recorded rap music. Okay, once Grandmaster Flash enters the picture, the old school ended. With my hip-hop historical mind, I think that once Grandmaster Flash comes along, he is the indicator of the middle school. Okay, the middle school started in like the late 70s, and it went all the way up till about, I'd say, the movie Crush Groove. Okay, that was a big deal, the movie Crush Groove. So like 84, 85. So in the middle school, it starts out with like Grandmaster Flash, and then you got guys like, you know, eventually, you know, it's like, and it ain't even really the late 70s, because you had like the Sugar Hill Gang, like that's technically old school, but it's right on the cusp. Like once you see videos, yes, and they're in the 70s of people rapping, yes, it is technically the old school, but the fact that there's videos and there's money involved, that is why to me, it goes from being old school to middle school. The hallmark of the middle school is the record deal, is the first dollar being made off rap music, the not being in the parks. Okay, and in the middle school, where it started with Grandmaster Flash, then eventually you had guys like, oh shit, you had shit like the Fat Boys, Run DMC, Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh came out in the middle school. Like shit that was going on when I was in 6th and 7th grade, when everybody was wearing the fat DMC glasses and the fat shoelaces with the Adidas. Man, there was a guy named Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Curtis Blow, Kool Moe Dee, the Treacherous Three. That was all the middle school. LL Cool J came out in the middle school. But really, technically, both like, you know, once Def Jam is like takes over, and I'd say right around like 85, 86, that's when the new school begins, because then you have videos, then you have record deals, then you have rappers on the same platform and getting the same respect as bona fide other rock stars. You know what I mean? Finally, rap, after 16 years, is starting to get into the same atmosphere as the rest of the world. You know, country stars, rock stars, pop stars, etc. You know, Run DMC played Live Aid that in '85, in July of '85. That was a huge step. Also in '85 is when Crush Groove came out. That was there were other hip hop movies. There was Breakin', Beat Street, Wild Style. Like suddenly, like that was one other thing the middle school did, is it brought movies, and it's something that like went away with the middle school. Breakdance movies got so whack that I guess hip hop never went back to making shitty movies about dancing and hip hop. But breakdancing was also part of the middle school, and that really took over America as well as a craze. Hold on, I really need a cigarette, man. So the middle school, to me, the middle school ends like with the explosion of Run DMC, and then eventually LL Cool J, Def Jam Records, the arrival of the Beastie Boys on the scene. The Beastie Boys are new school, Eric B. and Rakim, new school, KRS-One, Boogie Down Productions, they're all the new school. And like once they all get record deals, and up until about October of 1988 when a show appears on television called Yo MTV Raps, the golden age of hip hop began. And with the golden age, you got the Juice Crew, although they're older than that. You know what I mean? You got Big Daddy Kane, Biz Markie. You had people like MC Lyte, Latifah. You had EPMD. Ice-T came along then. The West Coast blew up then. That's when NWA came along. This was the golden age, and the golden age to me happened simultaneously while the show Yo MTV Raps was airing on television. Or you can go from when Yo MTV Raps first aired, which is, I think, September '88. You know, the first song that they used to plumb that show was DJ Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock, It Takes Two, which at that moment when MTV's first video, Yo MTV Raps dropped his first video, there was at least 4 different rappers that were jacking that. That beat was just being taken by everyone at that moment. It's just that Rob Bass is the only one who made history with it. Not sure why. He's probably the wackest rapper that uses that beat, but somehow he made it. But anyway, to me, the old school, or the golden age of hip hop lasted from pretty much the first time Yo MTV Raps aired until right around when Wu, like, I don't know. I want to say when Wu fell off, but the Wu falling off took years and was a slow process. Yeah, Wu was part of the golden age. Gangstar, the Roots came out then. I mean, all the great ones came. Cool G Rap. But it ended with 2 guys named, a guy named Puff Daddy put on a guy named Biggie Smalls, and out on the West Coast, some douchebag named Tupac arose. And from that point on, it's no longer all up on hip-hop, all up until that point. If you didn't have skills, you got laughed off, you got mocked, you got shit on off the stage. You don't go on into a circle and start rapping if you don't have skills before this. After them, any douchebag who fucking looks in the mirror and jerks off to fucking Biggie Smalls or Tupac or 50 Cent or whoever the fuck else it is now, like, thinks they're a rapper. And if you think you're a rapper, I guess technically you are. Not in my book, not in old school hip hop's book. One moment, please. All right, so pretty much ever since the Tupac Biggie era, like, I started, like, once Big Pun died, Wu-Tang started sliding off. Like, it was like 98, 99. You know what I mean? Like, when I like DMX now, but when I first heard him, I kind of knew, like, this was the beginning of the end. Like, it just, you had to have skill back in the day. You had to know how to rap. You better have been good. You might get your ass beat for fucking stepping up and talking some shit in a battle if you don't know, you know, if you don't know what you're doing. So, and all that, and that's why I'll always hate Tupac and Biggie. Even, like, I play Biggie, I don't hate Biggie, and I play a lot of his music. I'm starting to get into him in my old age, but when that album came out, like, I think I bought, when Ready to Die came out, I bought like 4 albums that day, because I also bought Craig Mack, I bought Diggable Planet, I bought the Fugees' first album, and I had all these, I had the fucking Tikal, I had all these, like, other albums that I bought at that very moment. And Ready to Die was on the bottom of that pile for years. I didn't give a fuck about it, you know what I mean? Call me a hater, but it's just that, like, I could smell the fact that, like, this was no longer about skills. This was no longer my music anymore. This was I was getting edged out of what I, like, helped build. And it really was rap, it was rap music all the way up until, to me, till, like, the Biggie Tupac thing. Then it became hip hop. To me, what rap music was look, we're a new urban expression of art. Everyone is welcome. Hip hop is like, no, yo, you got you have white skin and a penis, you ain't allowed in. It's almost like a Jim Crow section that I'm not allowed to be part of, the hip hop. You know what I mean? I was always a rapper, but I'm never truly part of hip hop because of this white skin here. You know what I'm saying? Hip-hop's racist as fuck. Believe me, I'm one of the first white people to ever have to deal with it. And there ain't nobody, I don't hear Oprah Winfrey or fucking Jesse Jackson fighting for anybody's rights there. But anyway, you know what I mean? And I was always told, well, you have no, by both black, white, and Latino people, I have no right to rap whatsoever because black people invented rap music and I'm white, so I'm like insulting everybody and I'm mocking the whole thing and I'm doing nothing but taking from poor people and keeping from my rich, privileged white self. Okay, all right. Well, that's cool. If that's the case, if I can't rap because a black man invented it and I'm white, I mean, Thomas Edison was white. Should niggas stand in the dark? You know what I mean? Feel me? Some racist ass shit. Hip-hop's racist. But anyway, that's when I definitely slid off of it. That's when it stopped appealing to me, and that's when I stopped giving a fuck about it because it stopped being, it's not even about race. I don't care, be as racist as you want. I bought every Public Enemy album there was and never looked back. I bought X-Clan albums, you know what I mean? That's the most racist band ever. It wasn't about that, it's about skill. And if you ain't got it, you shouldn't be doing it. Feel me? So all you young boys out there saying I'm an old man and I'm hating your young hip-hop because I'm old and I don't understand and I wasn't there, maybe. But wait a minute, I was there. I've been there all along. Oh, and by the way, 1972, not just hip-hop was born. A guy named Biggie Smalls was born on May 20th. I think a guy named Snoop Doggy Dogg was born in 1972, sometime in April of that year. I could be wrong on that, or November, I forget. If you just stick within like 4 or 5 years of the year 1972 when hip-hop was originated, you'll find that all of the greatest rappers were born within 5 years before or after. I mean, KRS-One, Kane, and Rakim, they're all 4 years older than me. I think they're all from 68 and 67. But, you know, they were 4 and 5 year old kids when hip-hop originated. I was born, like somehow hip-hop was in the air that season, and it came into everyone's, it just came through hospital windows into babies like milk and shit, and it fed us hip-hop, and we became the greatest hip-hop, the greatest rappers, the greatest artists of this field were all born in 1972. Oh yeah, and there was one other guy in a hospital right across from Central Catholic, Sacred Heart Hospital, on the day of Tuesday, May 9th, at 10:52 p.m., yours truly was born on 4th and Shoe Street here in Allentown, right in 1972. Have a great day, people.